Hello and welcome to this short video about Jaguar XK8 Lockdown, check your tyres and battery. This is video 84 in my series of XK8 videos. This video is really just a reminder because of my current experience with tyres and batteries. Not necessarily with my XK8 but with my other cars, the sort of daily drivers. Just a bit of a reminder to check those items. If you're watching this video, you're probably interested in Jaguar XK8s or Jaguar XKRs, X100s. If you are, mine to suggest you subscribe to my channel by pressing the rectangular red subscribe button with subscribe written on it, clicking the bell to be reminded when videos are aired, and click the thumbs up if you like the video or thumbs down if you don't. And if you have any questions or comments, please ask them in the comment section below the video. Okay, so one thing about the lockdown, and particularly winter lockdown, is batteries and tyres don't like the cold and they don't like the lack of use. So first of all, check your tyres. By experience, what happened to me just before Christmas, I hadn't been using my daily driver, my Ford S-Max TDCi 163 brake horsepower, due to the lockdown. Wasn't taking a lot of notice to it, did a lot of videos, probably not taking enough care of the car, to be honest. And I had a flat tyre on the offside rear when I did eventually end up going back to work for a short period. Now, fortunately or unfortunately, I was on the A5 just before the start of the M54. I was able to get on the lay-by and change it. It wasn't raining, thank goodness. If you have an S-Max, you don't get a spare tyre, but luckily I had some advice from the owners club and I had one stowed in the boot, so I was able to change the tyre. As I say, it was on the side of the road with traffic going past. Not thing I would recommend doing, so I actually went and checked all the other tyres obviously after this happened, and all the tyres were quite badly underinflated. Now I normally take quite good care of my car, but because of lockdown and what have you, probably haven't checked the tyres as often because I normally go and visit relatives, do long journeys, 2 or 3 hours, and then I always check the tyre pressures. Because I haven't been doing that, I've maybe been a bit absent in those checks. So I went into the garage and had a look at the XK8. Now the tyres didn't look underinflated at all. Well, I thought I'd check them. Bear in mind that the low winter temperature lowers the tyre pressure, obviously. Looking on the internet, basically what they recommend is for minus 20 degrees you get roughly 10% less pressure. Tyres are normally inflated about 30 psi, so you're going to get about 3 psi difference with a minus 20 degree drop. Now here in the UK at the moment it is basically zero, so if you've inflated your tyres in the summer or the autumn, it's 18 to 20 degrees, you're going to be you're going to be down about 3 psi. Bear in mind, so I went to check the tyre pressures, lower or hold. I didn't check them with I've checked it with an actual gauge, it's more accurate, and I was getting about 28 psi. Bear in mind that I thought I had inflated them to 36 on the rear of my XK8, so I was down about 20%. Bear in mind that when you're storing the cars over winter, it's best to inflate them to the maximum of the rating to make sure you don't get flat spots. So I was a bit disappointed in that. So I went through and checked all the other tyres, and the other tyres were similar, if not less. I think there was one that was only about 20 psi. So it's really worth checking the tyres. I mean, I know probably a lot of you guys already do, but check the tyres on your XK in storage and your daily drivers, because if you do have a flat tyre, believe me, it's not convenient at all and expensive. Secondly, check your battery. So the cold temperature, the winter, and lack of use also affects the charge of your battery. I've actually set up my trickle charger lead, the comfort lead on my XK8 battery. Not completely happy with it now, but one thing I'm happy about is it's flashing away green. So everything is good on the XK8. So I had to look at the other cars. Sorry, if you're interested in the trickle charger I'm using, it's a CTEK MXS 5.0 battery charger. Details are in video 78. I'm going to do some more videos about how I fitted it in detail, but more of that later. I've had on my daily driver again the Ford S-Max. For the second time in the lockdowns, I've had low battery indicator. Previously I put a battery charger on it, that cleared it, and I had to do it again. So luckily the S-Max is intelligent enough to tell you when it's got a low battery. Other cars aren't quite as good until it's actually failed. So for my other car, or my wife's car, I have a battery voltage gauge, one that just plugs into the cigarette lighter. It's got a twin USB socket for handy charging up your mobile phone as well. You basically just pop it in, and this one's switch live. So as soon as you put the ignition on, it'll give the voltage. This battery is currently being charged, that's why it's reading 13.5, but normally that voltage would read slightly over 12 volts. And when you start the car, you can see the voltage drops a lot, and whether it's actually charging. So they're a very useful little gauge to help you monitor the battery condition for £5 on eBay. Very, very cheap. When I actually set up the comfort lead, CTEK comfort lead on my wife's car, unsurprisingly, I got a red flashing LED. So that battery, although the car wasn't saying it was in poor condition, needs charging. So that's the next job. When I put the battery gauge on there, just for reference, it was reading about 12.2 volts. So not overly undercharged, but according to the CTEK comfort lead, it needed charging. So there you go. Two things hopefully you'll learn from my personal experience. Check your tyres, check your batteries, especially in the winter now. The temperature has dropped. It's 0 or less here in the UK now, and when you're not using the car regularly. Thank you very much for watching. Hope you find that useful and avoid you having a flat battery or even a flat tyre. Please like, comment, share and subscribe if you'd like to see more XK videos.